Welcome to Order Militarist Radio TV, and we're lifelong Catholics. And what we do is all for free, and for our love of Jesus Christ, and for our Holy Mother, the Church. We'll defend our Holy Mother, the Church. Today we're going to do a special biography look at of Vladimir Putin. Who is he really? By Brother Alexis Banala.
Thank you, AJ, for having me on Order Militarist Radio TV, breaking grounds in Catholic media and giving you information that no one else does. Now, this show is about Vladimir Putin, but you said Putina, and that's going to be the whole drama of the show because everyone thought, we were told for years, that Vladimir Putin was Russian. There was some discussion whether he'd be part Jewish, something, and let's first start with his official biography that we were told for years, AJ.
Yeah, it's short and sweet. Okay, so Vladimir Putin was born on October 1st, 1952 in Leningrad, now St. Petersburg, Russia, as the only child. His father was a foreman in a metal factory and his mother was a homemaker. Putin lived with his parents in an apartment with two other families.
And so it goes. You
Yep.
said October 1st. On social media this spring, they were claiming he was born on October 7th, the feast of the Battle of Lepanto. That's not true, is it?
October 1st is false. October 7th, 1952 is right.
Oh, okay. So, it's important to understand and who are the people you listen to, who are the people who are your leaders, and if there's one thing true in the modern world, we're not told the truth. There's been a whole construction of a false narrative, and AJ is blazing trails in Catholic media because of all of his investigatory programs, which is a wonderful way of him expressing his vocation, Order Militaris, because we're a security organization. And this is an important thing. Why is it important to know Putin's background? Because if people knew Adolf Hitler's background, there probably wouldn't have been a Second World War. Because Adolf Hitler's, all his grandparents have Jewish surnames. And they've done genetic study on some of the hair they have of him. And it's clear that he has Sephardic roots, that his ancestors came from Spain, some in Morocco to be specific, in some past time. But he was obsessed and insisting that he was German, not Jewish. So much so that, and there was a whole big debate, we covered that already about Adolf Hitler. He actually had a law pushed through the Reichstag that condemned the Jews and accepted only two people. Only two people were under this decree of condemnation of Jews, and that was Jesus Christ and himself. So a lot of authors have said, in an attempt to prove he was Jewish, he pushed forth the whole idea of the Aryan superiority and that Germany has to conquer countries. And it's hard to imagine that a person's inner psychology could actually influence the whole course of history if he's allowed to get his way. But it is true with leaders of nations. Now, AJ, a lot of I'd say Ukrainians mostly say that Putin is like a redo of Hitler, and a lot of people dismiss that as very uncharitable propaganda. But is there some truth behind that? And that's what our show will investigate today. I'll let you have it.
Yeah, so his real parents are Vladimir Spiridonovich Putin and Maria Ivanovna Putina.
And why does that make a difference? Where are they from?
His father is from Russia, his mother from Georgia, and still lives in Georgia.
And was he born in St. Petersburg?
Yes.
And did she come out in public and claim that this was her son and break the whole narrative that he had different parents?
Yes. This was a report done in March 30th, 2022. And they just published it because, well, it was done in 1999 when she noticed in Putin's walk a characteristic that her 9-year-old son had before abandoning him.
Okay, so what's this story and how is it that she had this son and gave him up?
So the report reads, much mystery exists around the childhood and youth of Vladimir Putin, since only some information is known, which leaves the door open to endless rumors about its true origins. That is why, in recent days, various international media have taken up the story of an elderly woman who currently resides in the country of Georgia, who, a while ago, she claimed to be the real mother of Putin, whom she would have abandoned when he was just a child. According to the Spanish newspaper El Mundo, a journalist named Irina Babrova wrote an article for the new Russian newspaper Moskovsky Komsomolets about Vera Nikolina Putina, a 96-year-old woman who claims to be the biological mother of President Putin. Vera Putin would have been born in 1926 in the Russian district of Ochorik in the Perm Kura region, which was a very old part of Georgia. While she was doing her university studies in agricultural mechanism, she would have fallen in love with a man named Platon Privola, with whom she became pregnant and would be the biological father of the Russian president. So now this is where things get weird, because in the Wikipedia article, some people add that the father was Vladimir Stepanovich Putin Sr., but the mother is correct.
So she dumped this boyfriend and then married Putin?
Mm-hmm. Finally, the woman would give birth to her son in 1950. Years later, Vera got married, and her husband did not want their son because he did not want to support him, so he had to leave him in care of his parents when he was 9 years old. Now, this is where we learn about his parent. Now, her husband's parents. Spiridon Putin, the grandfather, was a personal cook to Vladimir Lenin and Joseph Stalin.
Oh boy.
That is who raises him before he goes off to school.
And did he have a good childhood or was he abused?
There's not much on about him, his childhood, but Putin's birth was preceded by the deaths of two brothers. Albert, born in the 1930s, died in infancy, and Victor, born in 1940, died of diphtheria and starvation in 1942 during the siege of Leningrad by the Nazi Germany forces in World War II.
This was his grandfather, his brothers.
Yep.
Mhm.
Now, what we just know from this one article, we know that Putin's mom was a factory worker, and his father was a conscript in the Soviet Navy, serving in the submarine fleet in the early 1930s.
Do you mean his biologic or his adopted parents?
Adopted father.
Mhm. And did anyone confirm the story of this Georgian grandmother? Are other witnesses come forward and say, yes, that was their childhood friend?
Yeah. Ursula Ver has in her possession records from the Meki school in 1959 in the memory of one of Vladimir's schoolmates, Gabriel Desvally, and one of his teachers, Nora Golagashvili, who claimed that he was a shy child who was made fun of by other students and who always came to class with his pants patched.
With his pants patched, very poor. So this might explain why he is extremely psychopathically violent if anyone criticizes him. I mean, we've done programs here, we've criticized Putin, and then the server for Automilitarized TV gets attacked. So you can't touch this thing. Now, haven't some journalists who wanted to investigate this story like had problems?
Yeah. The Russian Artem Borovik, who died in a plane crash before going to visit his mother, Putin's mother. The second, the Italian Antonio Russo, although the latter was also going to make an appointment with her to make a documentary, he was tortured and murdered in the context of the Chechen War of 2000.
So this is a hot topic. You recently got your hands on a biography of Vladimir Putin, and he come out openly and say this, so he's just kind of talks around it because it appears he's being very
Yeah,
prudent, not up.
he's being very prudent. He he left breadcrumbs for everyone to follow, which will lead to this.
Okay, this is our reports based on. You want to recommend that book? What's the title of the book and the author?
Let's see here. The Man Without a Face, The Unlucky Rise of Vladimir Putin.
By Masha Gessen.
Yeah. This
Okay,
guy
yeah.
is a Russian author inside Russia, so he has to be very, very careful.
Okay, so here's an example of someone who had a very unfortunate childhood. To be abandoned by your mother when you're 9 years old is going to shock you because you've already come to the age of reason. You know who your mother is, and then you're shipped off somewhere. Your soul, maybe. Already as a child, you're constantly henpecked and bullied at school. You're so poor, your pants are always patched, and then your mother gets rid of you. And AJ is going to put the mother's interviews on the show page for this show at Automilitarized Radio TV. I recommend you watch it. It is absolutely heart-wrenching to see this grandma, this mother, speak of her child like it was no big sacrifice for her to get rid of this kid. And if you've grown up in a family like AJ and I had, always had loving parents, there was never any problem in the family, no abuse or anything. You know, I don't say you should be compassionate for Putin, but you can understand why he might end up with a very strange psychology that Russia has to rule the world, and that it doesn't matter how many people you kill to get out of your way, because his parents didn't show him that he mattered, that he had any value, or that he was a human person worthy of love. You didn't have that example. And this is what makes men monsters when they're given power. As Bonaventure says, no one should be a leader of the state unless he first can control himself and rule his household. And modern times, it's clear that the globalists put in power quite different kind of people. And we've done some shows on Russia before. AJ, maybe you want to recommend them to the audience before we go.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, so it is. I mean, yeah, by doing this show, you feel pity for this guy, but he's exactly like Hitler and doing the same war crimes and stuff against the citizens of Ukraine. So, really? So, like they Okay. Well, okay, so we'll have to get back to you on those shows because
I remember we did one on the Rothschild control of Russia and Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
That was our first one, and we've done some on the Holodomor. And Holodomor was perpetrated by Stalin, who was also Georgian.
yeah,
So the ironic thing is that one of the strongest foreign contingents defending Ukraine today is Georgian.
mm-hmm.
And they probably have a really bad feeling in their stomach learning that Putin's mother is Georgian. So, but this does explain why Russia back in the 1990s and the 20s invaded parts of Georgia, because it was like he had to incorporate his mother's land into the nation he rules, just like Adolf Hitler insisted on invading Austria, where he was born, and making it part of the Third Reich of Germany. So,
Yeah.
a lot of similar things there. And
So,
if you like these kind of investigative programs, I encourage you to make a donation to AJ's studio fund. It won't go to him personally. It will go into a nonprofit that will build a studio where Ordo Militaris Radio TV in the future can do a lot of high quality 24/7 programming, because you don't get Catholic investigative programming like this. And as you will see from the series that we will do a biographic series on all the major social influencers and show you who they are and where they really come from. You'll see all the more importance of supporting Ordo Militaris Radio TV Fund, because we need better out there. We need cradle Catholics out there. We need uncontrolled opposition. People are not offended by the U.S. government. That's the only way we can guarantee we're going to get the truth in Catholic media.
yeah, so this is the short program we'll do on Russia currently. The next one, whenever both of us have plenty of time, then we'll get deep into Russian spy tactics.
That will be very interesting.
Yep. So get this book on The Man Without a Face. It's very well done. I hope MASH is well protected. Has done an excellent work. This is Ordo Militaris Radio TV signing off. Death's full.
Death's full.